G'day, how are you again? In my favourite recording studio out in the park, yep. It's only been 2 days since my last video and there's been a lot of news, which is exciting. Got something to talk about, which is exciting. And thank you for watching, appreciate it. So, what's been happening in the last few days? Well, if you ignore all the stuff in America, well, let's get into it. Firstly, not good news. EV sales are down in Australia, which is a bummer, but there's been a study by the NRMA and their counterparts in Queensland, I think it was, about why that is, why EV sales are slowly dropping off. And basically what they're saying is it's a lack of EV charging infrastructure, which is, well, as you know, if you're part of the EV scene in Australia, it's been quite lacking. It's been building out there slowly, it is happening, which is great, just not happening fast enough. I mean, they're adding new curbside chargers in inner city areas, which is fantastic for people living in those areas. But the perception in the public, or the car buying public, is there's just not enough DC fast chargers around, which is sort of true in some rural areas. I mean, I've done many trips to Oberon in the last few weeks, last few months, actually years, and there's no DC fast charging up there. The newest one's either at Lithgow or Bathurst, which is a bummer, especially if you spend 2 or 3 days roaming around there looking at properties. It's either a slow charger, which you've got to pay for, or nothing at all, or driving to Bathurst. So basically what they're saying is that for every 68 EVs in Australia, there is an average of 1 charger, whereas the rest of the world, they're averaging 1 charger per 11 EVs. So that's quite a significant difference right there, isn't it? So of course, if you've got 1 charger per 11 EVs, you're more likely to find a charger. Whereas here, you've got 1 charger per 68, you're not going to find them, it's quite difficult. So basically, what they're saying is the industry leaders are calling for massive reforms, especially when it comes to chargers in city areas, people with garages and out driveways. Which, while true, sort of isn't the main buy of cars. I mean, according to the ABS, I think it's about 80% or thereabouts of all car owners in Australia actually do have off-street parking and do have a garage. Whether that garage is turned into, a pool room or a spare bedroom, doesn't matter. Most Australians who own cars do have off-street parking. So when it comes to majority of car owners in Australia, off-street parking isn't really a major issue. I'd rather the money be spent building a bigger DC fast charging network rather than focusing on the 20% of people that don't have off-street parking. That's just me. What do you think? I mean, actually, the best solution would obviously be investing in both, wouldn't it? But apparently last year, the federal government invested 2.4 million, just 2.4 million in new pole fast charging in Australia. That does buy you 250 pole-mounted chargers across Victoria, New South Wales and South Australia. But according to these experts in this study, they're saying we need about 11,000 pole chargers by 2030. I think it can be done. So there's not much investment really, 2.4 million, considering how much money we waste on digging crap out of the ground just to burn it. It's actually not too bad. I have no idea what that is. It's definitely not a toilet. I'm sure we've seen this. The Guardian ran a story about brake dust, studying brake dust. Well, I actually found the study. So of course the mainstream media sort of misrepresents it to suit their own agenda. But yeah, they're basically claiming the particulate matter from brake dust from vehicles, electric or petrol and diesel vehicles, is bad for you, which it is. It's a particulate matter. All particulate matter is bad. But what they're saying is the brake dust, or the composition of the brake dust, is just as toxic or dangerous as the fumes, or should I say, the particulate matter from a diesel engine, which is, again, also true. But then the story goes on to claim that because EVs are heavier, they create more brake dust, which is bullshit. Because as you know, if you own an EV, you have a thing called regen braking. So rather than using the brake pads to physically stop the car, which is friction, which does create this microparticles and dust and the pollution, the car uses magnetic forces for regen to slow the vehicle. And in many cases, with one-pedal driving, that is actually significant enough to bring the car to a complete stop without ever touching the brakes. So even if you do use the brakes, the majority of braking is still regen. So you're going to be creating far less particulate matter pollution because you're not using the physical brakes, the friction brakes, as much as a petrol or diesel car because, you've got regen braking. So it's sort of been a bit misrepresented, but it is true that the brake dust is a bad pollutant. So, but they're claiming that EVs aren't the future because of the brake dust crap, which is, it's BS. Because regen braking is, as we know, far more superior. And if you aren't sure, if you haven't driven an EV and you're curious, go road test one, go drive one, go drive around the block, see how you go with the one pedal driving. And you soon realise, like, the majority of your trips, you never need the brake pedal, which is fantastic. Cleaner air, better for you. Apparently these are drums. Anyway, next up, Ford and the boss of Ford. No electric Raptors are coming, unfortunately, but just not yet apparently, because basically what they're saying is the boss of Ford, Kay Hart, the Ford IMG chief, electrification is inevitable, but we're still working through what that means. What that means is if you don't hurry up, you're going to be left behind. Basically what they're all claiming is the EVs or the PHEVs will be no good as a Raptor because they won't improve the off-road capabilities of the vehicle. So basically what they said is they're saying the PHEV is not practical for an off-roader. And they're going to spend more money developing the V6, environment killer pollution spewer. Come on Ford, you got the F-150 Lightning out there for crying out loud. Get it in Australia. I mean, I'm sure that's just as capable off-road as any other Ford F-150 is. But yeah, on the other hand of that, you got BYD, the BYD Shark, a PHEV Ute with 100 kilometres of range, which is actually really good for PHEV. Yet, funnily enough, they're targeting the off-road use of this vehicle because, it's 2 electric motors, instant torque. Lots of torque from 0 or very low RPM, which is fantastic for off-road, especially the hardcore stuff, because that's what you want. You want torque and low RPM. So they're doubling down on the off-road capabilities of their PHEV, while Ford, on the other hand, is saying a PHEV just won't work off-road, therefore we've got to stick to the V6 petrol. Come on Ford, pull your finger out your ass, get the F-150 Lightnings in Australia, or electrify the Ford Rangers, the PHEVs, even if it's a PHEV. But you better hurry up because the full EV Utes are coming. Remember, Ridara is on its way, and I'm pretty sure the BYD Shark will be a full EV in the very near future. On the subject of BYD, the BYD Atto 2, yes, an Atto 2. Could that be Australia's next budget EV? Who knows? It's an SUV apparently, and the BYD, according to this press release, are expanding their Australian lineup with the Atto 2. It's a compact SUV sharing the DNA with the Dolphin. So you can expect a pre-launch price of around about $30,000 or mid to low $30,000 range. So basically up to $35,000. Battery options, 50 kilowatt hour, 340 k's of range, or 60 kilowatts with 420 k's of range. 420. Yes, that's actually not too bad range for a small SUV. 130 kilowatt motor, so it's not going to be a weapon off the line. 0 to 100 in 7.9 seconds, if that matters anymore these days. We all know EVs are fast. That's what they are. They're just good. While we're on Chinese manufacturers of EVs, Xpeng have announced a new store. They're expanding in Australia with the new Crown Sydney Experience Centre, coming soon apparently. State-of-the-art showroom showcasing Xpeng's latest EVs. Interactive and an immersive experience for potential buyers. That's great. Located at Crown Sydney opposite the Woodcut restaurant. So buy a car, have a feed. Why not? But yeah, it's good to see these manufacturers expanding in Australia and selling cars here. More options for us, even better. Updates on the house? Nothing's happening yet. We're still researching batteries. So if you have any experience with things like the BYD batteries or the EcoFlow batteries, or even know of a third option, let us know in the comments. Because we seriously will be needing something to power our lifestyle while we're living in a tent off-grid until we get our house built and a new block of land. Which also brings me to another thing. Pooping and scooping. We're going to need a toilet. Now, hopefully we can borrow a family member's motorhome which has a cassette toilet, which would be great. But other than that, we don't have a toilet. So we're going to be looking into composting toilets. Because the plan is, as soon as we get onto the land, we're going to have site surveys done. We're going to get and probably a shed built, a double garage. We don't need approvals for that. 50 square metres max size. Get a slab put down, put a shed in there, put a fire in the shed, put a toilet in the shed, and find a way to get hot water so we can have showers and things to keep ourselves clean. But we need the power and place the poop safely. While I step over this dog poo, one more thing I forgot. I was just about to leave here and I forgot. Lovely soccer field, football field. I think it's just a football field. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, Kia. Yesterday, the previous video was the Kia EV4 render reveal, which will be shown and given all the specs done in, I think February 27, I think it was, in Spain, in their big, massive online global event they're going to have. They're also revealing the PV5, which is a van platform, which is, okay, I thought that bird was about to steal the camera out of my hand. Oh, anyway. Yes, the PV5, the Kia van platform. Actually looks pretty good. No mention of range or specs or anything yet, as again, the February event, well, the late February event will reveal all the specs and details of that. But it looks like they've got a passenger version and a commercial version. which is pretty cool because I'm looking for a van, or I'd love to see a van that's got some significant range to be used as a camper conversion. Because all the campers out there, mini motorhomes and stuff, they're all petrols and diesels. I mean, I'd love to do a camper or motorhome in an EV, but unfortunately commercial vehicles only have 200, 250 k's of range, which for a commercial vehicle is fantastic. I mean, I used to work as a courier driver. So I was only averaging 1,000 kilometres a week, 5 days, 200 k's a day. You don't do as much as you think. But yeah, a good 300 or 400 kilometre range for a motorhome would be good. So this KIA PV5 thing, which actually looks pretty cool, could come out with decent range. That would be a great thing. Anyway, there is some pictures of it floating around right here, and it has been spotted testing in America. Oh my God, look at the hair. It's been spotted testing in America, as shown on Electrek right here. So interesting to see what comes of that at this Kia day on February 27. So yes. So if you got this far, I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you watching. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a great afternoon. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I'll see you in my next video. So take care of yourselves. Until next time. Bye.